Tonight, when the sun finally sets, you're gonna do something completely automatically. You'll flip a switch, light's gonna instantly flood your room, and honestly, you won't even think twice about it. But welcome to this explainer, where we're uncovering a truly mind-blowing secret about human nature that's been hiding right in plain sight. We're gonna see how that simple flick of a switch completely erased a fundamental part of what it means to be human.
Take a look at the sharp contrast here. On the left is our modern night, completely bathed in light. But for literally 99.9% of human history, that light switch simply didn't exist. Whenever the sun went down, the world went completely dark. And we're talking about an absolute pitch black darkness where you couldn't even see your own hand in front of your face. It's a completely foreign environment to us now.
To really put that into perspective, we have to grasp the massive scale here. 300,000 years. For over 300,000 years, every single one of your ancestors spent roughly half of their entire lives in near total darkness. They didn't even have candles for the vast majority of that time, just the black sky, the stars, and whatever fire they could manage to keep going. Which really begs the question, what did they actually do for all those dark hours? Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. The Fire Revolution. Roughly 1 million years ago, at places like Wonderwork Cave, discovering fire didn't just keep us warm, it entirely restructured the human day. Think about it. Before fire, our ancestors were just like every other primate. When the sun set, you found a tree and you stayed completely still. Moving meant dying. But a campfire, that created a magical 30-foot circle of safety. Inside that circle, predators stayed away, but wandering outside of it meant literally becoming food for leopards and hyenas that had vastly superior night vision. It's a stark reality that anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherers still observe today. Suddenly, fire added 2 to 4 usable hours to the human day. Anthropologist Polly Wisner spent years studying the Kalahari Bushmen to see exactly how these extra hours were used. And the shift is dramatic. During the day, 80% of their conversations are purely practical stuff. Work, logistics, hunting. But at night, around that fire, a massive 81% of conversations shift to stories, myths, jokes, adventures. The campfire became our original theater and classroom. It is literally the birthplace of human culture.
Which brings us to part 2. The big reveal. Segmented sleep. Beyond the glow of the firelight, there was a hidden biological rhythm to the night that we have completely forgotten. Back in 2001, historian Roger E. Eckerch spent 16 years digging through over 500 historical records, everything from 1400s prayer books to Homer's Odyssey, to uncover this lost secret. He found that before the Industrial Age, people slept in a pattern of first and second sleep. That's 2 distinct phases separated by a period of being completely awake. So sleeping in one continuous 8-hour block, that is a thoroughly modern invention. In fact, the modern bias was so deep that historians literally mistranslated ancient Greek and medieval Latin text for centuries, totally ignoring all the clear references to this divided sleep pattern. For thousands of years, this segmented sleep followed a standard blueprint. Step 1. You go to bed shortly after sunset and sleep for about 4 hours. Step 2. You naturally wake up and stay awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night, a period historically called the watch. And then step 3, you go back to sleep for another 4 hours until dawn. This wasn't insomnia, right? This was just how every human on the planet slept. So what were people actually doing during those waking hours in the pitch black? Well, everything. A 16th century French physician specifically recommended couples use this window to conceive children. People would literally get up and visit their neighbors in the dark. They'd lie in bed and interpret their dreams while they were still fresh. The doctor's manual from the 1500s even advised that the absolute best time for quiet study and deep reflection was during the watch, because the mind was just perfectly calm. Let's move to part 3. Science validates ancient history. History tells us one thing, but biology backs it up in a truly fascinating way. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware ran an experiment at the National Institute of Mental Health where he removed all artificial light from volunteers' lives for 14 hours every single night. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happened to them. Within weeks, completely without prompting, every single participant naturally settled into that exact ancient pattern. 4 hours of sleep, a couple hours of wakefulness, and 4 more hours of sleep. But pay close attention to their biology during that waking hour. Their brains produced elevated levels of prolactin, the exact same hormone released during deep meditation. The participants felt profoundly peaceful. So this wasn't just a gap in sleep.
It was an entirely distinct, reflective state of human consciousness that most of us today have literally never experienced.
Part 4. The Death of Darkness. So, how on earth did we eradicate a 300,000-year-old biological rhythm so incredibly quickly? Well, we conquered the night.
It helps to reframe how absolutely terrified we used to be of the dark. Get this. The word curfew actually comes from the French couvre-feu, which means cover fire. In medieval towns, a bell would ring as a signal to extinguish fires because the night was supposed to be dark. Being out after dark without a lantern was actually illegal in many European cities. The night belonged to sleep, criminals, and the supernatural.
But then, we flooded it with light. In the 1600s, Paris installs street lamps. The terrifying night slowly becomes navigable. By the 1800s, we get gas lamps, and then the absolute game changer. 1879, Thomas Edison commercializes the electric light bulb. In just a few generations, the dark night, as humans had understood it for hundreds of thousands of years, simply vanished. It shifted from a place of fear and quiet reflection into a fully illuminated space.
Which brings us to our modern reality today. Modern humans are bathed in artificial light for an average of 7 to 8 hours after sunset, but there is a massive biological cost to this. You see, your body, as brilliant and complex as it is, actually doesn't know the difference between the sun and a light bulb, and that's especially true for the blue light emitting from the screens we stare at.
Here's exactly what that light does to you. When light hits your retina at 11 p.m., your brain interprets that as broad daylight. This suppresses and delays the release of melatonin, which is the crucial hormone that regulates our sleep. By doing this, we fragment our sleep and violently disrupt a circadian rhythm that evolved over millions of years. We've effectively used artificial light to completely eliminate an entire phase of human consciousness.
But here's the really good news. Our ancient programming isn't actually gone, it's just buried. A striking recent study took people stuck in the modern routine of chronic melatonin suppression and sent them camping for just 1 week with zero artificial light. Their biology reasserted itself almost instantly. Their melatonin cycles reset to sunset, advancing by nearly 2 full hours. That is literally all it takes for 300,000 years of biological programming to wake back up.
So let's wrap this up with part 5, the modern insomnia myth. We really have to question if losing the stole watch phase of consciousness was actually progress or a tragedy we just didn't notice.
We treat waking up in the middle of the night as a disorder, right? We call it insomnia, we take pills for it, we stress out about it endlessly. But I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. The next time you find yourself wide awake in the dark at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, feeling frustrated, what if that isn't a glitch? What if waking up at 2 a.m. isn't a disorder at all, but just an ancient echo of the lost night, and your body remembering exactly what it was built to do? Think about that next time you flip the switch.